小河西，柑橘树生南国，迎霜抗雪，说过翻跌不凋谢。小溪水穿山岳，千回百转，东流入海不停歇。人间事物常如此间，定心心莫怀疑。Good afternoon, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue with the Beijing opera. The piece I present here is the modern, modified Beijing opera. It's about the story of Miss Kaihui Yang, who is the first wife of Mao, the founding figure of the country. So both her and Mao were from Hunan province and a common, probably middle class. And Mao was sent to school, and Miss Yan's father was his Mao's teacher, so they got married, and then they both moved to the Beijing, and later on they both joined leading the armies, leading the fight and leading to the independence. But since the battle was so long, start from 1920s to 1940s, but Miss Yang was killed. So she gave Mao 3 children. Some of them are still alive, I think. I did not know much, but I think Miss Yang was killed in Hunan province. Some said she was killed by the local. Some said she was killed by the army of the enemy. So it's difficult to say. But in terms of Mao, he of course there are a lot of different opinions about him, especially for the Cultural Revolution, 10 years and essential. But in terms of person, as a person, Mao, I think it's a very good writer. Wrote a lot of poems, very beautiful, with the strength, with the very well formatted, passing down from the ancient. And he's a very good military leader. He planned for the wars and won the battles for each of major battle. And he is also very political, very good political leader. So in terms of, on top of that, I think he probably is very visionary. Some of the visions, not clear, just obscure visionary, caused a mistake. Could be, for example, the Great Leap. Probably somehow he knew China will rise to be strong, but he did not know it's during his time, was not from his time, but take time, several generations of leaders. But he probably had this kind of obscure vision. So then about less than 10 years of the new country started a great leap, making the steel, making the industrial revolution similar, but it turns out it was not the right time, not the right strategy. But I think it's part of because of his obscure visionary, and part of because of the country was new. So, but anyway, and he had another two wives. One is Miss He, and the third one is Miss Jiang. And this piece was about his first wife, Miss Yang, Kaihui Yang. It's basically the piece was about she educate the poor people, told those mothers or women at home how important to communicate, use parables like the water flow, eventually endless flowing water with very strong force because of the continuity, and also the trees blooming in the south and just keep blooming, never ended. So use this kind of parables to educate those women, because in past time women usually not educated, not going to school, not educated. So she took time to taught them how to write, how to read, and how to understand, to change the mind of value of women. So this piece basically is about she educate. Later on, she and Mao separated because Mao has to lead the rebellions and fight in the war. She stayed at home in Hunan province and somehow just died and killed. So this piece was I think it's because it's a modern Beijing opera. It's quite hard to say what style, probably integrated in different styles. In terms of the presenter, I wasn't quite sure where did I get this piece, who presented this piece, but it's just I found the tone, I found the lyrics very beautiful, and also the tone itself. It's very up and down, with strength to encourage, with soft part, the women's tenderness, communicate to each other. But because my maker did not have those forte and soft in components, so that lost the original meaning of this piece. But anyway, it's still, the lyrics the and the story is quite heart gripping actually. If you read the story of how the country was founded after 100 years war, almost international invasion and domestic local forces fighting almost 100 years, and then 1940s to establish a new nation. And because of the visionary not clear, sometimes we do have those moments, the obscure visionary. I don't know whether I can call them as a visionary, but definitely that's the path of what happening today or last 3 decades to develop the economic development and to this strong country. But anyway, the piece I present here just for the music and also for the story. If you're interested, you can search Miss Kaihui Yang and Mr. Mao, their story when they're young couple, student, fall in love and get married and fight together. Unfortunately, he lost her, and he wrote a poem about her later on. So this is the piece I present here today. And again, in terms of story, if you're interested, you can search, know a little more about how the country walking through toward until today, and how the music was composed for this special piece. I will stop here. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.